Alright, today's shout out goes to Michael Zillacraft. I just watched some of his videos today, and this guy does amazing work. So definitely go subscribe to his channel. What's up, Dang it, I messed that up. What's up, you guys? It's me, Cool Robert. How y'all doing today? I'm not sure if I've told y'all this, but I recently saw Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. What? And I loved it. Best movie I have ever seen so far. Probably a masterpiece of the Monsterverse. But now that everyone's seen the movie, people are wondering, what's next for the Monsterverse? I mean, we've gotten a lot of movies so far in the Monsterverse. We've gotten Godzilla from 2014, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and now Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. So what's next? Well, I have heard from some friends of mine, and from other sources around the internet, maybe not all of it's true, I've heard that Legendary is getting the rights to add more Toho monsters into the Monsterverse. Now, if that is true, we could possibly see some new monsters, or see some movies based on some of the classic monsters that have been shown already. Now, what I think we should get is a Mothra movie, completely based on Mothra herself. No Godzilla or other monsters in it. Well, maybe we can have a monster for the main villain. What they should do is take a little inspiration from Mothra's original film. Mothra's original movie was from 1961. And 61 is also the name of the outpost Mothra was in, somewhere in China. And then there's the Rebirth of Mothra movies from around 1997. Mothra 2, The Battle Under the Deep Sea. Alright, yeah, there are 3 Rebirth of Mothra films that took place around the Heisei era. First one, Mothra fought a version of Ghidorah. The second, Mothra faced a sea monster named Dagara. And in the third one, she faced another version of Ghidorah. But I don't think Ghidorah can be the main villain for a Monsterverse Mothra movie. Anyways, my point is I think they could take some inspiration from the Rebirth of Mothra films, along with Mothra's solo film back in 1961. And I think they should have it take place around ancient times. Well, maybe not like ancient, but maybe somewhere in between. Actually, I have a good idea. So I saw this fan-made Mothra trailer, and the person who made it had to like take place around the time people started exploring, taking ships around, searching the world. I think that was after Christopher Columbus went on his big journey. Anyways, I think this could work. Like some boat discovers an island, which could be the Monsterverse's version of Angel Island. Oh wait, that's not what it's called. It's called Infant Island. Pfft, you dummy. Anyways, they could have some explorer ship like lost in a bad storm, and the storm sends the ship to Infant Island. That's where they discover Mothra's kind. This could be like a safe haven for Mothra's species, Titanus Mothra. And perhaps the Titan or monster villain for Mothra's film could be either Dagara or Batra. Maybe Batra would work. He could be like maybe a subspecies of Titanus Mothra that's corrupt or evil. And I think maybe Dagara could work too. I would love to see what Dagara would look like in Monsterverse form. And another Titan they should probably make a movie about is my boy Rodan, the Fire Demon. And we haven't seen Rodan since King of the Monsters, and I think a movie for Rodan would be amazing. Rodan actually has his own solo movie from 1956. And here's an interesting fact. Is Toho's first kaiju film to be shot in color. Now that's interesting. This movie is about Rodan and he was discovered in a volcano. Huh, and that's interesting because our Monsterverse Rodan came from a volcano. So I think they could play a little inspiration from the original movie. I have heard that Rodan was worshipped as some sort of deity and they sacrificed to him. Perhaps Rodan could fight some sort of rival titan. You know, actually, here's an interesting fact. The bug monsters that are from Rodan's movie, they're called Megaguirus. And who else is Megaguirus? One of the bug monsters that was from Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. So maybe Megaguirus could make an appearance in this movie. Maybe her hive is trying to take over Rodan's territory, and they duke it out to see who gets what. And of course Rodan might come on top because he's the fire demon. He's gonna incinerate that bug. And I think they should add some new monsters, like Varan. If you don't know who Varan is, he's a lizard monster that had his own movie from 1958. And he has like a wing membrane connected to his arm and leg, almost like a flying squirrel. So maybe Varan could have his own movie. Perhaps a new Titan that's revealed. And I think they could possibly throw in some other Toho monsters in this film. Perhaps Baragon. Baragon appeared in a movie. Baragon appeared in a movie called Frankenstein Conquers the World from 1965. Perhaps they could have Baragon and Varan duking it out. Classic Titans fighting each other for territory. Obviously, we can't have Frankenstein in the Monsterverse because Frankenstein's not a Titan. He's a zombie man stitched together with body parts brought back to life by electricity. And that don't sound like a Titan to me. That sounds like just a mishmash of monsters. Do the monster mash! Alright, quit being cringy. Now, I've also heard that Gamera might make an appearance in the Monsterverse. If you don't know who Gamera is, then you guys are missing out. So Gamera is a giant turtle who can fly, and he made his appearance in 1965. His movie was called Gamera the Giant Monster. Huh. I actually have this DVD that has the original Gamera movie, along with 3 other movies. And since then, Gamera's had multiple other movies. Recently, they did a Gamera show on Netflix. I think it's called Gamera Rebirth. I think Gamera's movie should take place probably sometime in 2015 after the events of Godzilla 2014. Maybe they found this ancient temple where they worship Gamera. But then this new Titan awakens from the temple, and it is Gamera's rival, Gaios. And I think they could probably use the design for the Ion Dragon, because almost everyone compares the Ion Dragon to Gaios. I guess they do look a little similar. Perhaps they could change the design up a little bit to make it look a little bit more like Gaios. Maybe the Ion Dragon is sort of like Titanus Gaios. So this Titan breaks free, kills people, and then Gamera comes in and tries to stop Gaios because they have a rivalry. Kind of like how Godzilla hunted down the Mutos, or how Kong has an ancient rivalry with the Skullcrawlers. And here's another monster I think should be in the Monsterverse. They should make a movie based on this fellow right here, Gorgo. So Gorgo is sort of like the British Godzilla. This movie was made in 1961. And the interesting thing is Gorgo is sort of like a baby version of a bigger species. And the mother of Gorgo comes in and starts destroying the city, looking for a baby. And what was the mother's name? Ogra. Gorgo's mother was Ogra. Let's change the story. How about in the Monsterverse, Gorgo and his mother are just enjoying their time hundreds of years ago. But then some rival Titan comes in. Gorgo's mother fights with this Titan, but this Titan gets the upper hand and then kills Gorgo's mother. Gorgo has no choice but to go in hiding. And then thousands of years later, he's in hibernation with the other Titans. And maybe he's got an outpost somewhere in Britain. But during the events of Godzilla King of the Monsters, Ghidorah's call wakes up Gorgo from his hibernation. And at this point he's full grown. He follows Ghidorah's order for a time. But then after Godzilla defeats him, Gorgo just goes around doing his own thing. And then he meets this Titan that killed his mother and gets in a big battle with it. There's just so much potential the Monsterverse can do to build up the whole universe. And now that I think about it, after the events from a New Empire, I'm thinking the military probably has had enough of the monsters and decides to destroy all monsters. If you guys don't know what that is, Destroy All Monsters was a movie from 1968 that had Godzilla, Mothra, and basically every monster Toho had. All the monsters start breaking out, destroying cities around the world. The military tries to destroy them. Then Ghidorah shows up and all the monsters team up and beat Ghidorah. Obviously we can't have that for the Monsterverse because Godzilla killed Ghidorah. But I think this might be the perfect time for them to debut Destroyah. Now, if you guys don't know, Destroyah is a monster that appeared in Godzilla vs. Destroyer from 1995. It was the final movie from the Heisei era of Godzilla. But long story short, Destroyah is a monster that's made up of single-celled organisms, almost like Shinomura. But Destroyah basically looks like a demon, with giant bat-like wings, horns on his head, claws, and this horn on the top of his head that makes this laser. And Destroyah was created from the Oxygen Destroyer, I think. But I think they can make the Monsterverse Destroyah like an ancient titan that has destroyed civilizations over the years. And he's basically like the bringer of chaos. So what do you think of all the random ideas I've thrown in? Do you like some of them? Do you guys have other ideas you think the Monsterverse should do? Or do you just not like any of it in general? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Like this video if you did. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.